Hello, everyone. In today's sort of demo training, we're going to go through the class agent portal on the Tappan network. Okay, just a little bit of background of the Tappan network and the class agent portal. The class agent portal will allow you all as volunteers to be able to pair with your prospects, be able to basically send them contacts such as via email. You'll be able to track any phone conversations or when you did a call. You'll be able to view their giving history, add a pledge if you'd like, but it's just a way to be able to manage your outreach in fundraising, in the fundraising campaign that you are in for your class, and you'll be able to do a multitude of functions within the system to be able to track and manage your progress. So this is the homepage of the Tappan network, and you can navigate through to alumni.oberlin.edu to get to this website. And you will see that there is a login, and if you have never registered on Tappan network before, you can click on the link, click here to get started, to basically create a username and password to get into the system. Okay? So once you click here to get started, you'll be asked for your last name, your ID number, your class here. And if you need any assistance in obtaining perhaps your ID number, you can basically email the alumni office or fill out the form with your information. And they will provide the ID number for you to be able to register. Okay? So I'm going to go back to the home page, and I'm actually going to log in with my test account here. I'm going to click on Login, and this is basically the homepage of the Tappan network, but what we're going to go and cover today is the class agent portal itself. So on the left navigation, you should see a link called Class Agent Portal. Select that, and you will be navigated to the actual homepage of the Class Agent Portal. So this is what you will see as a volunteer when you first come into the Class Agent Portal. You'll see this homepage. It includes some messaging from the Oberlin staff. It'll also include first-time steps visiting the portal. So anytime that you come in here and perhaps this is maybe not your first time, but your second time, but you've forgotten some steps, you can follow some of the steps on this page, perhaps requesting an assignment or going to your assignments. You'll also be able to see any new gifts and updates that your prospects have made, also any key dates for your reference, and any upcoming events as well for your reference. So always refer back to this page for any information. This is going to be periodically updated. In addition, if you ever need to contact the Oberlin Annual Fund, you have that contact information at the bottom as well. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to cover is if you look on the left navigation, there will be a menu called Agent Portal. Okay, if you click on that, it will display a series of links that we'll be covering during today's demo, and we're going to go through these in step-by-step order. So the home page is what you see here. Again, this is the page that you'll always come into. You'll always be able to refer to the information. Okay. And then the second is your lead agents. The lead agents is simply a information page in case you need to contact or have any questions regarding the system or any questions at all regarding the fundraising outreach. You can go ahead and click on the lead agents, and it will give you the contact information for your lead agent of your class. Okay. If you are a lead agent, your information should appear here for your class. So the first thing that a volunteer should do when they enter the system is they should first select their classmates or select the prospects that they would like to pair with. So you can click on the Select My Classmates link. And what this will do is you will see that my test account is currently associated with the class of 2005. But you as the volunteer or as the agent will see your own class pre-populated on that drop-down. Okay? And you will also see a listing of all the prospects in your class. Okay? Feel free, if you're looking for someone specific, you can do a search on their name using the search bar, or you can navigate through the different pages to find the prospect that you're looking for. Okay? Now you'll see that there's a series of checkboxes beside these prospects' names. Those are available for pairing. Okay? So you can go ahead and click on the checkboxes, essentially, to pair with those people. Okay? Now you'll see there are some that do not have a checkbox, and that is also because they already have an agent assigned to them. The system is a one-to-one contact, meaning that no two volunteers can contact the same prospect. So if a prospect is already taken, you will not be able to pair with that prospect. Okay? In addition, there are some other things that allow you to not pair. If the alumnus has requested no contact to be made, there will be an asterisk beside their name, and the request pairing checkbox will be disabled. If they're deceased or if they're lost, it'll also be indicated. Okay? So once you select the checkboxes, okay, simply click on Update, and it will say your prospect pairings are approved. So the system, once you've selected your pairings, it's automatically going to approve those pairings. And you'll see that, again, my test account is Rebecca Cap Mertens here, the account that I'm using. But because I've selected these two, now the agent is populated for those prospects. And then the checkboxes are disabled. Okay? In addition, although you can do a search on this text box here, you can also do a search for prospects. If you're looking for a specific name, for example, if you're looking for a specific city, class year, etc., you can go ahead and fill out this. Okay? So if I typed in, for example, Smith, and I do a search, okay, what it'll come up is it'll do a search through the entire class, and it will pull up anyone. If I scroll down here, it'll pull up anyone that has the name of Smith. All right, and I can go ahead and then pair from here if I wanted to. Click on the checkbox and click on Request Pairing. Okay. So again, once you've done, this is the first step. What you need to do is you need to make sure that you pair with a couple of prospects, and then you can then start making contact with those prospects. So the next thing to do is click on your prospect list on the left, and it will show you all of the prospects that have been assigned to you. Okay, so in this case, I have 3 prospects. Okay, and what the status is when you first assign them to yourself and you request the pairing, they will be set to a status of to be contacted. If you have started making contact with that person, whether it is via email or whether you've recorded that you made a phone call, it will then change it to in progress. Only when they have secured a gift or a pledge, that's when the status will become completed. We also have a remove link here. So for example, let's say that you mistakenly paired with someone and you didn't want them in your prospect list, you can remove them and they will go back into the pool of available prospects for someone else to possibly pick up. Okay. So in order, again, this system is a one-to-one contact. So in order to make contact or view someone's individual record, you need to click on their name. So I'm going to go ahead and click on David Aaron. Okay. And this is the first page that I get to when I click on his name. Okay. There's several things we can do with David's record. Number one, we can add a pledge. So if I'm on the phone with him and he wants to make a pledge for 5 years, I can go ahead and record that in the system. I can also view contact history. So I can see any contacts that I've made within the system to David in the past. So this is a good way for me to be able to keep track of my progress of what contacts have I done with this person. And if I'm coming back a week later or in 2 weeks, I can see the history of what's been done, and I can sort of pick up where I left off. Contact assignment is what we see here, what we'll be going through in just a second, which allows you to be able to make contact with David and record that, in this case, or whoever prospect you are looking at. In addition, Add View Comments allows you to make any comments about the prospect. Giving History will give you the historical record of all the giving that they've done in the past. If they have no giving history, then it'll be blank, but if they do, it'll show basically detailed giving history of when they gave, etc. And then the last but not least is updating contact information. So if you are, if you know that this prospect has had a change of address or a change of a job or a phone number, you can go ahead in here and basically update that contact information, and that will make sure that that information will be sent back to Oberlin to update their records. Okay? So what we see here on the screen is making the first contact. Okay? So what I'm going to do is, if you look at the contact method drop-down here, there's a contact method for email and phone, and we're going to go through each one. So I'm going to select email first, and you'll see that there are templates assigned to this email contact. There are various templates that the Oberlin staff has provided for you as a guideline for you to be able to make contact. So we have, things like initial contact, a general email solicitation, and reunion email solicitation, for example. And what this will do is it'll allow you to select the template that you want to use and then send out an email from the system. So since, for example, let's just say it's a new prospect, I probably want to select the initial contact, and I'm going to go ahead and click Submit. Okay, so on this page, it'll also show you at the top, just for the ease of viewing, is the contact history. So as you can see here, the contact history, we made a phone call previously, and it always records that I used which template and on what date and time I made a phone call. So again, this is a good way to keep track of all the contacts you have made for this prospect. And if you're starting new, obviously there won't be any contact history, but if you're coming back to a prospect that you've already contacted, it's a good way for you to see exactly what is showing or what you've done in the past by the record showing on the screen. Okay? Now, at the bottom here is where I can create an email. Okay, so in this case, the to address is already being populated. Okay, and the from address is basically the name of you, the agent. Okay, and the from address, or the from name and the from address, will also be populated based on the information on your record. Okay, the subject will automatically populate, and also the template will populate. We'll go back and see a template that's already been created for you. Again, this is sort of a test that I'm doing, but everything will be populated for you already. But you can go in here and edit as you need to. If you need to change the address, if you're wanting to use a different address for the from address, you can. But the prospect address will automatically be pre-populated based on their preferred email address. Okay? So in this template, you can go ahead and type in whatever information you want, and you can use the WYSIWYG editor to make edits. You can bold, you can change the fonts, etc. Once you are happy with your email, you can go ahead and click on the Send Email. Okay? And what that will do is it'll record a record in your contact history that you made an email to this person, and it will also send the email, obviously, to the end user. Okay? And basically, that's you can go ahead and send that through the system. Okay? So let me go ahead and show you, let's see, this one, we'll do a general email solicitation. Let me click on Submit just to show you an example of an actual template that you can use instead of just a test one. You'll see that it is populated here, and all you would need to do, there's some notes here. You may insert your phone number, but it'll always populate the dear to the prospect's name and also sincerely with your name. Okay, but keep in mind this is meant as a guideline for you. You can essentially remove what you do not want to communicate. You can type in your own personalized message if you like. You can add additional things. Again, Oberlin has just provided this as a guideline for you to be able to make your contact if you need somewhere to start. But again, feel free to personalize the email as much as you want to. I'm going to select a different method here, and we're going to go into the phone contact. Okay. And I'm going to select the non-reading and sample solicitation phone call. That's the only template available for me, so I'm going to click on Submit. Now, the phone contact is a little different. It is basically used for you to be able to make a phone call while you're on the system, on screen. While this is on screen, you can make a phone call. And what this will include is it will obviously show the phone numbers for this person, okay? And that way it's easy for you just to look at the screen and call that person. And it'll also include guidelines for you to be able to do to make your phone calls. So there's some sample phone calls. There's some it's basically a phone script. And if there's some guidelines, if they're a past donor, you can talk about this. If they're a non-donor, you can talk about this. But basically, Oberlin has created these guidelines to help you during your phone call. If there's any objections or if you need to leave a message, you can go ahead and do that. Okay? So this is the way in which you can record that you made a phone call. So I can select the date. Okay? It's going to automatically pre-populate the date for today, but I can select it using this calendar tool. But once I make the phone call, I can click on Phone Call Complete. Okay? And it'll tell me that the contact by phone call has been recorded. Now, it'll also give me some of these result codes. These result codes will allow you to define what was the result of this phone call. And we have a couple here, such as no answer busy, left voice message, left message with spouse or another person, wrong number, all of these. Okay? So you can select basically the result code that applies to your phone call, and you can click on Add a Result. Okay? And basically what it will do is it'll say that the result was left a phone message. Now this is really important because this allows you to keep track of every single step of the contacts that you made. Not only the actual contacts, whether it's via email or phone, but the results of those contacts. So if I put in left a voice message for David here, for example, if I come in a week later, I can see this. I can say, oh, well, I called David today on the 26th at 2 o'clock, but I wasn't able to reach him. I left a voice message. So I should either call back or perhaps send him an email. Okay? So that allows me to know exactly where I am with my outreach and if I successfully gone to contact with him and perhaps secured a gift or so, or a pledge. Okay. So again, that is the contact assignment page, just going back to that. You can make as many contacts as you'd like. You can select whatever templates you want, and you can use this to send an email or record that you made a phone call in the system. Okay. Now let's go through a couple of other things. The contact history is what we've already gone through. It allows you to be able to see all the contact history that you've done based on the contacts you've made in the system. Another important feature is the Add View Comments. Now what this is for, you can add any comments about this prospect. This could be internal comments for you, meaning a reminder for you. For example, David was, in this case David, my prospect, was out of town, for example, and I knew he was coming back next week. I could put in a note that says he's on vacation, we'll follow up next week or next Wednesday, for example. Okay? And this can also be used for external notes. So if you need to communicate something to the Oberlin staff about this specific prospect, let's just say that you were on a phone call and he wanted the annual fund to follow up with him on more information, you can write that note and you can submit it. And every day they will get a report of any comments made by any of the volunteers in the system. Okay, so you can use this as a tool to be able to alert the Oberlin staff for any follow-up that needs to be done with your prospects. Okay. The next is giving history. And giving history, currently for this prospect, we have no giving history here, so I know that there have not been any gifts made by this person in the past. But if any of your prospects has giving history itself, you'll be able to see all of the gifts, including the year, the amount, the dates, and the type of what they've given in the past. So it's actually very useful for you to be able to take a look at that and basically figure out if, how often have they given, what have they given in the past, and that'll help you with your outreach. Okay. The next is updating contact information. Okay. It will show the personal and business information, and if you wanted to edit the personal information, you can click on Edit here. If you wanted to edit the business information, you can click Edit here. But again, any edits that you make to this prospect's record will be sent back to the Oberlin staff for them to update that information. Okay, so it's a good way in case if they've changed phone numbers, if you know that they changed an email, you can go ahead and edit. And if I click on Edit, it will allow me to fill out that information on the screen here. Okay, so I can go ahead and change the information, and then I can click on Save, and that will save the record. Okay, so you can do that with both the personal and business information if you'd like. So you can edit that, the personal or the business information. And the last thing you can do is, if you're on the phone call with them and they have said, yes, let's go ahead and make a pledge, as a volunteer, you can go in here and actually type in the amounts that they are willing to pledge. Okay, so if they're going to do a pledge for, $100 for 5 years, you can fill that out. If they're pledging different numbers per year, you can also fill that out. If they also have a matching company name, you can also include that. And we have a link here that will actually basically allow you to access the matching company database to see if their company matches, and also the fund that you would like to give to. Okay, so in any of these funds, if they're choosing to pledge to a specific fund, you can select that from the list. And basically, once you confirm the pledge, it will record that pledge in the system, and it will also be sent back to the Oberlin staff so that they can follow up and they can record that pledge in their database. Okay, so this is a good way to basically keep track of that. If they've agreed to make a pledge, you can go ahead and do that, and you can do it directly on the system itself. Okay, so those are the things that you can do with a specific prospect. If you are looking to contact a different prospect, just go back to your prospect list, and you can go to the next person. Okay. The link is the goals in progress. This will allow you to keep track of your progress throughout the campaign. So, for example, I have 3 prospects, and I haven't secured anything from those 3 prospects. I've contacted 1 out of 3, and it will basically show you a graphical representation of where you are with your outreach. Okay, so depending on the number of prospects you have, the number of those that have given a gift or pledge, those will automatically be updated in real time as you start making contact, as you start securing pledges and gifts. In addition, you can also see your class progress. So this is a good way to see what the goal is, what the participation goals are, what's based on the previous year participation, how much revenue has been collected for the class. So it's just a good way to see how your class is doing, and also a good way to see how you are doing against your class goals as well. Okay. Then we go to some reports, and these reports, it'll be easy for you all to run a report of all the prospects, okay? And you'll be able to just look at this report, and you can download and print. It includes prospects information, you know, basically the phone numbers, the addresses. So it's an easy way for you to be able to print this out if you would like and download to your computer. Just basically giving you a snapshot of all the prospects in your class. Okay. The next is search classmates. We've already talked about this. You can also navigate to this search for prospect screen using search for classmates. So again, this is when you need to search for someone specific so that you can pair with them. And finally, resources. It's very important for you to keep checking the resource section because there's going to be a lot of PDFs and documents that are available for you to download, including the training guides in PowerPoint and the webinar that we're recording today. You'll be able to access all of that through the resources. So the Oberlin staff will obviously be updating this on a periodic basis, but if you would like access to any of these documents to help you in your outreach, you can click on the resources on the left and you can basically review all of the resources on screen. And you can also download them. And to download them, all you need to do is just click on the link. And if not, if your browser is having those issues, you can right-click and just do the Save Link As, and it'll save the PDF to wherever you want on your desktop. Okay. So that is the agent view. That is the agent experience. As a volunteer, you have this resource for you to be able to manage your interactions with your prospects. You'll be able to pair, be able to view resource materials, be able to make contact. All of these things are available for you once you log into the Class Agent portal. So what I would recommend as the next steps for sort of first-time users is go in here, go into the agent portal, and basically start clicking on the Select My Classmates, and then select the classmates that you'd like to pair with, okay, using this. Once you've paired with a couple of them, I would urge you to go to your prospect list, then essentially select someone on the list that you would like to contact, and basically go through their record. You can view their contact history, their giving history. You can add any comments if you'd like. Okay. And again, if you are ready to make an initial contact, you can go ahead and select one of these templates and click on Submit. And that is one of the things to sort of experience with the system is doing that one-to-one contact. Okay. And most importantly, at the end, the next steps for you all is definitely to review the resources and review these documents that possibly apply to you, especially the training guide, just so that obviously you can watch the video, but you can also review that PowerPoint as a downloadable PowerPoint for you to be able to refer back to if you're having any problems in the system. If you have any questions or issues, please contact the Oberlin Annual Fund staff. You can view that on the homepage at the bottom. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to email or call them, as well as your lead agent as well. And you can refer to that as the lead on the lead agent's page on the left as well. So I hope you are able to register into the system, be able to play around in the agent portal, and please be sure to make sure that you request your pairings, and you can definitely then start making contacts with your prospects. Thank you very much.